name is Rosh and I am the founder of Babb. So before I start my story, I would like to play a short video. I hope you like it.
Imagine that you have the same power that banks have. Imagine every person in the world is an equal, empowered participant in the global economy. Welcome to Babb.
Babb is the new way of doing banking, which has only just become possible. It's completely removed the need for a bank. Instead, it creates a global financial network with you at the heart.
There are 2 billion people in the world currently living without access to banking, most of them in developing countries. Even the banked people everywhere are being failed by the incumbent banking system. Internet access and smartphone ownership are increasing rapidly in many parts of the world. This gives us the opportunity to do something new, building a new kind of decentralized bank, which will empower everyone by connecting us all together, whoever you are, wherever you live, and however much money you have.
As a bank, you have all kinds of power that you just don't have as an ordinary customer. You have the ability to empower others. You can open bank accounts for people you trust, issue cards to those who need them, and lend money securely at fair rates.
With the Babb app, you can open a UK bank account from anywhere in the world by taking a selfie and saying a passphrase. Once you've entered the Babb ecosystem, you've become your own bank. Anyone with a smartphone and an internet connection can participate in Babb's global marketplace. If you're a fully validated member of the network, you can onboard your friends and family and give them access to a UK bank account. All they need to do is download the app, take a selfie and say a passphrase, creating a Babb account with an integrated digital identity. This social KYC mechanism will create fully banked communities and promote rapid uptake of the Babb network across the world.
Babb creates a frictionless marketplace built on a blockchain using biometrics to create secure digital identities for all participants. By connecting people and removing the barriers between them, we can reduce the cost of doing business and unlock innovation across the world.
With Babb, you can exchange or send money directly without any middlemen. It's cheaper, faster, and easier than doing it any other way. For instance, to exchange and withdraw cash in one go, Babb finds all the people or businesses that you're able to meet nearby and puts you in touch. If you want to go ahead, just tap and make it happen.
We're bringing together 3 key technologies to build our solutions at Babb. The first is blockchain. And blockchain technology is driving innovation and change across many sectors, particularly the financial sector, where incumbent banks have very high transaction costs. These are then passed on to individuals and businesses, which leads to the exclusion of this large segment of the global population who just can't afford it or are not even rendered banking services. By leveraging a blockchain, we can have multiple parties into one secure platform, reduce costs, and operate with unprecedented transparency.
The Black Card is the world's first decentralized card payment method built on the blockchain. It bridges the divide between the digital world and the physical world. It's linked to your Babb bank account via an NFC tag and operates independently of Visa and MasterCard with local and global bank account capability. When you use the Black Card, you can spend your BACS, our native cryptocurrency, instantly anywhere in the world.
The second technology is biometrics. Biometric technology helps solve the challenge of determining identity, particularly in developing countries. This, paired with our innovative peer-to-peer dynamic KYC, allows us to provide more people access to bank accounts while still reducing the potential for fraud and complying with regulations. The third is machine learning. These technologies give us a far greater ability to detect and predict behavior. This has massive implications for security, fraud, and risk scoring, with an impact on lenders, borrowers, and access to credit at fair rates. At Babb, we're building solutions that leverage these technologies to create a new kind of banking for the benefit of everyone.
Babb gives us the opportunity to leverage our social connectivity in new ways. The app brings people together to participate in peer-to-peer financial services, collaborate on projects, organize events and plan activities. Babb is more than just a banking platform, it's a social movement.
Our project will empower the global microeconomy and help connect each and every individual, business, and community across the world. Join us.
I hope you liked it. And I remember when I came to the UK in 2009. So as any immigrant, I just wanted to open a bank account for me in order to pay my school fees and university fees and manage my budget, pay in the store and do basic transactions. So unfortunately, all the banks in the UK, I mean the major banks in the UK, they rejected my application for this basic account. So I had no option but to leave and use cash and prepaid cards for almost 1.5 years. That was really very expensive and inconvenient. So after 1.5 years, I managed to open a basic bank account. And after that, I set up my own company. It's an online payment services to help small and medium-sized businesses in the UK to send money to their suppliers worldwide. So it was really very successful. So 1 year of trading, FX, it was really very, very successful. So banks, as I think everyone knows this story, banks in the UK decided to close down all money service businesses' bank accounts without any justifications. I think the only justification is because it's a potential kind of competition for banks. So it didn't stop here. So my business was completely interrupted. My clients, so I had no option but to return their money back and apologize. And it was really, really very bad and very unprofessional, just because the banks, they overnight decided, no, we will not support this money service business. So it wasn't the FCA decision. We are authorized by the FCA, by the HMRC. We are regulated. We are doing business really properly. So yes. So it didn't stop here. My personal account, as well as saving account and all credit cards were all closed at the same time. So imagine, the business was affected, my personal life was affected. I felt how much power these banks have to exclude people from the system freely. And then I had no option but to open an account in Germany. Imagine someone who lives, works in the UK, be accepted in Germany to open an account, personal and business, but not in the UK. So something is wrong somewhere. So these two experiences shaped my attitude toward banking in the UK. So, and also I am not alone. There are 2 million, imagine, in the UK, 2 million unbanked, 2 billion unbanked worldwide. So that's why I started Babb, so that no one else has to go through what I went through. We want to make banking accessible for everyone, empowering everyone to become their own bank. So Babb is built in 3 main pillars: freedom, control, and connectivity. So first is freedom. Everything we do is designed to advance personal freedoms. The Babb platform is designed to give people financial freedom. The Babb app will provide tools for people to use freely and create their own opportunities. Babb means freedom from legacy systems. Sorry if there is any bank here or Barclays or HSBC, and freedom from restricted banking services. And we hope freedom from poverty for billions of people around the world. So second is control. We think everyone should have control of their money and data. Money and data don't exist in isolation. They are integrated to every aspect of our modern life. Financial integration is linked directly to social inclusion. If you have control of your money and data, you have control of your life. And finally, connectivity. We think people are better together. Amazing ideas come from anyone, and the best initiatives are community-led. Great things happen when people are connected. Connection is at the heart of Babb. We want to encourage interaction, inspire collaboration, and remove all frictions from global exchange of value, letting money, knowledge, and ideas flow instantly around the borderless without any middleman. And now, next is my colleague Annie, who will talk to you about Babb. Thank you.
Stop skipping through my slides. Hi, thanks everyone. My name's Annie. I'm head of communications at Babb, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Babb does and who it does it for. Babb has a radical vision for the future of banking. We're creating a decentralized bank that puts you in control of your money. With Babb, everyone is a bank, free, connected, and in control. With Babb, anyone can open a UK bank account from anywhere in the world, just by taking a selfie and saying a passphrase, and they get instant access to Babb's global network. You manage your Babb bank account through the Babb app on your smartphone, and your account is linked to a payment card via the same smartphone. We're also planning to work directly with central banks to reach the unbanked in every corner of the globe, and to create tailored solutions for each jurisdiction. Babb is the first world bank for the microeconomy. We already have a world bank, but it's designed to serve the macroeconomy. Babb is dedicated to serving and supporting the global microeconomy. That's the day-to-day transactions of individuals and small businesses across the world. So, who's Babb for? Let's take Indonesia as an example. This is one of the target locations of Babb's go-to-market strategy. In Indonesia, 2/3 of the adult population is unbanked. That's 120 million people without a bank account. Many of these people have money. They're relatively prosperous thanks to a thriving fishing industry, but their financial lives are cash-based and they have limited access to financial services. Many of these people also have mobile phones. As of January this year, mobile penetration in Indonesia was 142%, which is much higher than the global average. So just to recap, we're talking about 120 million people with money and with a mobile phone, but without a bank account. That is who Babb is for, in the short term. In the long term, Babb is for everyone. Whoever you are, wherever you live, and however much money you have, we want to connect everyone to everyone else. And there are endless use cases. SMEs can use Babb to automate payroll, startups and charities can use it for fundraising, and people with savings can lend out their money and get a great return. So, let's talk more about the product. Users interact with Babb through two main touchpoints, the app and the payment card. The Babb app is no ordinary mobile banking experience. Imagine a cross between a banking app and a social media app, and you're on the right lines. It facilitates easy peer-to-peer interaction, and it makes it very easy to keep track of your money. We're already working on the first prototype designs, and they are beautiful, they're slick, they're simple, and they're designed to work on even the most basic of smartphones. So, the payment card, we're calling it the black card. It's just a blank card, you can pick it up for free in any shop or online and get next day delivery. You can link it to your Babb app using a QR code or an NFC tag, and then you can spend any currency, anywhere in the world, or you can spend the Babb native currency, which is BACS. So just to recap, two main touch points. The Babb app links you to your account, and the black card links your account to the physical world. Babb goes beyond financial inclusion to achieve deep financial integration. We want to create an ecosystem for innovation, providing a means for people to leverage their social connectivity in new ways, to trade, to transact, and to create new opportunities to generate income. That's a very big ask. So now George is going to take over to explain exactly how we're planning to make it happen. Thank you.
Hi everyone, give me just a second. Yeah. So, Rush and Annie spoke a little bit about why Babb came to be and what exactly is what we're doing. I'm going to talk to you about the execution part, about the how we're actually going to pull it off. broadly speaking, we're doing it in three major ways. One, we use the best technology and the most recent innovations. Second, we keep people at the heart of our decisions. And third, we use a sensible approach to regulatory compliance and maintain an open line of dialogue with main stakeholders and regulators across all the jurisdictions we engage in. So, the first key piece of Babb is your digital identity. We tackle digital identity primarily in two ways. One, which we already spoke about, which is biometrics. We use biometrics to capture a representation of your identity. We extend those biometrics with other signals for additional validation, like your location, your history of activity, the device you're using. On top of that, we also use what we call peer validation, which produces the notion of a social KYC. Peer validation is the notion that as a person that has gone through the process of providing their identity to Babb, you can vouch for other people. You can say, I know this person. This person can be in the other side of the world. They can be in your hometown, your home village, with maybe they have a cell phone, but a lot of them don't even have an ID card, which is, I know, weird, but it's true. So, with this social KYC process, and with this creation of a digital identity, in addition to representing in a digital system the relationships between people and the trust that people extend to the other people they know, we create the concept of social KYC, which for Babb, it's the notion that you can know a person just by knowing someone that knows that person. The second piece of our technology is blockchain. Now, I know you've heard this all before. Blockchain is all the rage nowadays. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of businesses trying to build something with blockchain without really knowing why. They just want in on the action, right? We actually look at blockchain slightly from a different perspective. More, it's a technology, just like a lot of the other technologies we use, that allows us to do something that we couldn't do before. Blockchain allows us to decentralize our operations. It allows us to create, it allows us to bring together different authorities into the same system, have them communicate with each other and cooperate into something bigger than themselves. And it also allows individuals to have direct control over their funds. We use the blockchain to store bank account balances and transactions, and we use it to tokenize fiat funds. So tokenization of funds, you can see later on the white paper, but essentially is the process through which we receive funds from the legacy system, we keep them in our reserve, and we issue those tokens on a blockchain so that we can transact them freely without the need for an intermediary. This should also raise a small flag, which is, well, if someone else is moving those funds around, then how do you act as a bank? How do you do your loans and all that? We don't. We operate a full reserve. We don't operate a fractional reserve. So that is essentially, as a bank, it's a departure from how banks normally operate. The second thing we use the blockchain for is rules of activity. So banking needs regulations. Regulations are a part of life. They exist in theory to protect your lives, to protect your savings, and we engage with regulations by representing those regulations as rules in smart contracts in the blockchain, which means that whenever you want to transact, whenever you want to send money to someone, as long as you abide by those rules, they are predefined, they're not hidden. You're not going to try to execute a transaction, then get the transaction interrupted or reverted or anything like that. The minute you start a transaction, the rules are already there in place. You can validate them independently. So you're able to transact following the rules and regulations that we embed into the blockchain, into smart contracts. And as the more jurisdictions we cover, the more these regulations become important so that you can actually send funds across different jurisdictions and comply with jurisdictions with regulations in both places. As Annie was saying, we're also looking to work with central banks and other banks in other jurisdictions, which this is where the federated part of the blockchain and the bringing multiple authorities together into the same platform becomes important. So the Babb app is how businesses and individuals interact with the platform and with each other in a peer-to-peer manner. Once you have an account, you can transact without the involvement of any intermediary. You can exchange funds in a P2P manner. You can transfer funds in a P2P manner. You can execute loans and fundraising. The interesting part is that this is very simple to use, whereas underneath there's a lot of complexity. For instance, for the loans portion, this is where, for us, the risk scoring algorithms come into place, so that by the time you receive a request from a family, from a friend, or from someone that you know, or someone that someone you know knows, you can actually get a sense for how they have behaved in the past and get an appreciation of the risk of actually extending your money to that person. Second, the black card. The black card allows you to take your funds out of this digital space and this, this technology in your cell phone and actually use it in a physical location. So initially, we considered that we should integrate Babb with existing rails like MasterCard and Visa. It seems like that's what everyone is doing. In the end, we decided not to. First, having done it before myself and our team, we know it's really a lot of effort in maintaining those connections and in abiding by the rules that this company is putting in place, which have a reason to exist, but it's an onerous process. Secondly, cars are really expensive for people. You may not notice, a lot of people don't notice because you don't pay the fee of a card, the merchant pays the fee by having a reduction on the funds that they receive. In addition to that, there are fees that you pay, which are international fees and cross-currency fees. So if we're looking for something international, these were issues that we contended with when considering integrating with regular MasterCard and Visa. Third, these networks have a lot of fraud. The existence of this amount of fraud leads, and fraud, you see it on the news, you see big databases of stolen credit card numbers that people can use to conduct fraudulent transactions. That volume of fraud leads to chargebacks, which is the notion that you've received a payment, you shipped out a good, but then a little bit later, someone comes and tells you that that payment wasn't really valid because someone stole the card and so on and so forth. So this has been an increased issue. I can tell some anecdotes about this after this presentation, but it's also another reason we chose not to do it. But finally, most importantly, Visa and MasterCard, we're here, we're in the UK, we're in Europe, we're in the US. You kind of get accustomed to using it and it's everywhere. But Visa and MasterCard penetration is not that big around the world, particularly not around the jurisdictions we're targeting. For instance, in Indonesia, less than 2% of people have a Visa and MasterCard, have a Visa or have a credit card. So when we were weighing the pros and cons of integrating that, and we thought, but then we're going to try and enter Indonesia, having a connection to Visa and MasterCard is not really going to help us. So we created the concept of, why don't we create a new payment rails that is international, knows no borders, powered by the blockchain, which is where the black card comes in. The black card is linked to your Babb account, so it essentially acts as a debit card. You can unlink it anytime you want. So if you lose it, you can open your account, unlink it. If you find it again, you can link it again to your account, and it essentially connects a payment process with funds in the blockchain. anyone with access to the Babb app can take payments via the Black Card. So essentially, this creates a universal payment network. And then we come into the reason we're here as well, which is the BACS token. So everything I was talking about is powered by the BACS token. It is the lifeblood of all transaction and transactional activity on the Babb blockchain. Demand for the BACS token is associated primarily with three types of activity. On one hand, exchange of funds. So sending funds in and out of the Babb blockchain uses BACS. So if you want to send funds to an exchange, you use BACS. Converting funds across currency uses BACS as an intermediary for price discovery and liquidity. Second, the revenue we take in, the Babb platform only accepts payment as BACS tokens. This is relevant, and we have a lot of conversations. We've heard people mention that, oh, that sounds artificial. It's not. If you want to have something that is actually international, you need a coin of the realm, so to speak. You can't be stuck with pounds here, euros there, dollars elsewhere. You need something that is coherent across the entire platform, the entire world. Finally, it also occurred to us how, when we realized this vision, how important and how useful this would be, for instance, for fundraising processes. One of the things that Babb allows is for charities and for certain entities to begin fundraising processes for disaster relief, for infrastructure projects, with the ability to actually take those funds from anywhere in the world and hold them and receive them as BACS, which are then used to power activity in that local area that is receiving the help from the fundraising. So with the BACS token explained and what it does, I'm going to pass on to Adam, our COO, who's going to talk a little bit about the token itself. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the token cell, a reason why a number of you are here, I think. Okay, basically Babb is raising funds via a token cell to fund the development of our platform. We'll create 1 billion BACS tokens, and it's allocated as follows. So 60% will be allocated to the public. This will be split over pre-sale and the official token cell. We'll reserve a minimum of 50% for the public in a token cell this November. Next, you can see there's 20% allocated to the team. 18% is allocated to our foundation. BACS tokens will be held by the foundation as a reserve. This initial reserve will enable Babb Foundation to maintain liquidity in our platform. And finally, we have a 2% bounty. So we've incentivized the community to promote BACS and our token cell by offering them BACS essentially through various social media channels. For further info to participate, please meet with our resident bounty chief, who is Dean over in the corner, who can give you more details. So here are some key details about the token cell. So we're looking to raise $50 million in the wholesale, in total, including pre-sale. So that's 600 million BACS that will be issued in a token cell. Pre-sale begins on the 19th of October, and the actual token cell will begin late November. The exact date is to be announced, we think the 24th. Okay, early participant discount. So on the ICO itself in late November, if you participate in day 1, there's a 20% discount. Day 2 to 7, 10%. Day 8 to 14, there's a 5%. And then 2 more weeks with no discount at all. So it'll be a 4-week ICO. Okay, this is the team. I think you've met a lot of them already today. If you have any questions about Babb or the token cell, please come and approach one of us. I'm happy to give you more details. Also today, we have our legal and fiduciary team here. John and Miles from A to Z Advisory. John is over there. By all means, reach out to them to find out more about ICOs or token cells. They'll give you more advice. Thank you for your time and attention. Let's have a drink.